Today we're gonna talk about Southern hospitality. That's where Atlanta used to have. Atlanta used to have Southern hospitality, but they don't have it anymore because you know a lot of things have changed. People have changed. Money. People have got big headed and conceited, and they have gained certain positions where they feel like they're more important than other people. A lot of narcissists going on, and you got a lot of people want to fake it until they make it here in Atlanta. And everybody want to be a part of something. Even the people that stay down here, born and raised in Atlanta, native, they done switched up, and it always been like that. Atlanta always been slick divided. People want to say, "Oh man, it's the out of towners. They got Atlanta divided." No, it's not. Atlanta people been, selling each other out and you know doing coon shit. Want to feel superior over the next person. They want to feel like they're in charge. They get these positions, these jobs, and they want to take charge and kiss up to the white people and end up knocking a friend, associate, somebody they grew up with for a long time out of commission. Get them out of their position, out of jealousy and all kinds of stuff. Just sell them out for any little reason, just to get a position or just because it's in them to be that way. People been selling each other out ever since you know the days of Martin Luther King. It's in them. It's in them to be a coon ass, country ass sellout, and that's all Atlanta known for. Atlanta people selling each other out. You know, you got one group of people trying to fight for a cause and try to fight to be free. Then you got another slave master coon ass nigga trying to keep keep his position for the white man, but at the same time put his foot on the neck of his own people. And you been going have that going on in Atlanta ever since slavery. So I don't know how it is in other cities, man, but it's a lot of coon ass shit here in Atlanta. So when you come down here, man, that shit you might think it's all glitz and glamour. Yeah, it's divided in many different ways, buddy. Everybody want to be fake Hollywood. Ever since they brought out Black Hollywood, you got the people that got in position. They look down on their own people. They want to be in position where they can be in control of their own people. And the white man did that to them. For you got these young dudes out here joining these organizations and cliques and gangs and stuff, getting treated like do boys because they lost. They ain't got no direction. And when you take a stupid, uneducated black man out of a certain area, he ain't gonna know what to do with himself. He lost. He, take the fall out of the household. What he gonna do? They gonna roam the streets. They roam the streets and end up getting with people, dealing with people that they shouldn't be dealing with. And the gangs in other cities is different for how Atlanta operate. Niggas snitching on each other. They'll sell each other out for the white man, just to keep their freedom. And like I said, it been going on like that since slavery. Black people down here have no loyalty. So when you see a lot of cutthroat shit going on in Atlanta, people want to step on your neck just to climb up the ladder. They'll snitch on you doing something, anything petty. They petty as hell just because they can't get their way. Oh, Master, look what he doing over there. He got too much company over there, Master. They got town hall meetings where they keep certain black people out of certain neighborhoods. So you be wondering why. You ain't able to be comfortable in a certain neighborhood. That because they got a town hall meeting. They got who they want to be in the community. They whitewashing Atlanta down and everything. So they putting these niggas out here to be plants, just to snitch, just to tell on niggas, just for to get their freedom or whatever. And go back and report back to slave master. In other cities in New York and Chicago and other places, they'll kill you. They got different codes and different morals and different rules in other cities. But Atlanta is different. That's what people used to do. They used to leave Atlanta and go up north. Back in slavery day when they were getting beat, whipped, and he tried to get off the plantation. Oh, Mouse, he trying to get off the plantation. Look, get him. And then next thing you know, he got the damn slave master running off the porch like a lunatic after the slave. So the white man just sitting there. You want to see how dedicated, you know what I'm saying, the black man is to him. And you got a lot of that going on just for crumbs. Sell your ass out for crumbs, motherfucker. So it's that way. It's fucked up in Atlanta. It's divided. It's a lot of witchcraft shit going on. It's everybody got their own little weird ass circle. And then in these gangs, they just treat, like I said, they treat niggas like dude boys. So the Atlanta that you once knew, man, is being controlled by gangs, mainly Bloods in certain areas, especially. So the Blood got a lot of things on rock. And then they terrorize and take it over, say, certain neighborhoods. And then the Atlanta native, you know what I'm saying, they either doing business with them or they scared of them to the point where they say, oh man, we can't beat them, might well join them. But it's certain neighborhoods, they ain't going for that shit. They ain't going for, Bloods taking over their neighborhood. And they keeping it old fashioned with the Southern hospitality, Atlanta shit. Those the real Atlanta. But some of them niggas, you know what I'm saying, so it's very few, a small group of guys that's just solid, the regular Atlanta niggas. Those are the ones that trying to get their life together. They done moved up out the hood, away from drama because they feel like other niggas weren't standing up for their hood. And they were letting these gangs take over. So they said, man, fuck it. These niggas some lame ass, weak ass niggas, so I ain't finna be around this environment. So they end up leaving, going to the country or going elsewhere outside of Atlanta. They let them niggas take over because other niggas weren't standing up for their neighborhood, or either they was just doing business with the gang members and they allowed them to just take over certain areas. So it's divided here in Atlanta, man. Everybody got their own little circle. It's different. So you come down here, you wonder why Southern hospitality gone. That's because either your old neighborhood either whitewashed down because they were looking for an excuse. You know what I'm saying? They the one they allowed the gangs to come down here. You know, these crooked ass people, politicians, and open up doors, and they playing both sides and shit. They playing business in the streets, and then they playing, you know, lock them up, lock the John Does and everybody else up. They playing good cop, bad cop type shit. So you got the politicians that's playing both sides for business, money, or whatever that's convenient, and whatever agenda that they want to push, they'll do it. So you got a lot of cricket stuff, going on in the city of Atlanta, a lot of crickedness. So you name it. They want to say Victor Hill and all these other cricket. It's a long list. It ain't just him. It's just a lot of politicians that's cricket that ain't been caught yet. They want to say Victor Hill cricket because he got caught. You know, but it's a lot of politicians doing cricket shit. They making whatever laws that they want to make. You know what I'm saying? Just all over the fucking place. They just doing whatever. So that's why Atlanta divided. Southern hospitality. You know, when you come down here, you gotta just stay to yourself. It's very few people that still got Southern hospitality left. And all the neighborhood that you once knew, it whitewashed. It turned into a suburb, so-called hood that you once knew. It ain't a hood no more. It whitewashed down. or either certain other areas, gang infested, they took over certain neighborhoods, but it's slowly, areas slowly being whitewashed down, and they moving to Mexicans, out of town people or whoever that they feel like that they're gonna make better residents than the people that they had before, including the Atlanta native. They only want them there because they sold drugs and tore up their apartment and doing ratchet ass, retarded, slow ass shit. So yeah, there's a lot of people that done got over on Atlanta natives because it's it's a few Atlanta people are slow and they ain't up to speed on what's going on like these other out of towners. So that's why these other out of towners come down here and pull that riffraff bullshit because they feel like Atlanta natives are slow, which some of them is. I ain't gonna say all of them. That's how out of towners and certain other people have got over on Atlanta native because all that country ass southern hospitality bullshit to the wrong people. You inviting the wrong people around in your circle. They from out of town and now they taking over your shit, doing whatever they want to do, making rules that you don't even supposed to be having down here. You know, so that's why it make more division, more people divided. You know what I'm saying? Got a certain group of people that being weird and retarded and going in and out of jail. They ended up messing with the punks and stuff. So now they gay. So the women setting guys up. You know what I'm saying? Some of the women that's from Atlanta, they messing with out of town guys, cause they say, oh, these guys gay. So the women in Atlanta been ran through anyway. They been fucking undercover faggots. They just want to expose them when they can't have their fucking way. So these women down here is ratchet, retarded, and nasty as fuck. They fucking, faggots, and then they bisexual, and bitch act like she a goddamn, a straight, a dyke in, what I'm saying, in the afternoon, but at nighttime that bitch transformed and selling her wore out ass pussy, her wore out tore up ass pussy. So it's just like, it's all kinds of crazy shit. You got, bloods and gang members, sicking women on guys that don't know what's going on to be robbed and set up. So, and they could be out of town girls, or not even out of town girls, Atlanta native girls. They end up joining the gang because they was scared and they was some lame ass bitches. And they been ran through and talked about by Atlanta natives. So they ain't considered Atlanta natives no more. They considered traders. They just in survival mode. So dirty ass bitches and lame ass broke ass niggas, end up being do boys and crash test dummy out for the gang members. So that's what's going on with the Bloods, how they taking over and how Atlanta divided and yeah, the gay people they got their own little community. You come down anywhere in their neighborhood with that riffraff, your ass going to jail. 911 speed dial, the motherfucker gonna come quick for them gay people. So, a black man, a regular straight black man don't have no voice. He just trying to find his place. He up against all odds, because they gentrify everything. It seems like they don't want strong black men in Atlanta. They trying to weaken down men. You're a pimp, you're a fucking criminal, and they constantly taking you out of jail, or they got you so gay and comfortable to a point where you ain't fighting for nothing that's important. So that's all I gotta say about that. Atlanta is weird as hell. You gotta protect your energies on a few people that you can deal with, and a small group of people, and let it be about business. You can't trust people nowadays. Make sure it's about business. Even in then, you can't trust that because people cut your throat in business out of jealousy. So that's all I gotta say about that, man. Y'all stay sucker free. That's the way to be, and be careful, man. Be careful who you surround yourself with.